Hey guys, welcome to Rocky Point State Park. I am currently over here in front of the cave that is in the back in the woods. And today we're going to film a new Cosmic Circuit podcast. We're going to be speaking again with HAL 9000 from 2001: A Space Odyssey. And we're going to go down into the depths of the cave behind me, and we're going to discuss what could be hidden under the Earth's surface, under the core. We're going to learn about the science behind the outer and inner core, how they work, also the conspiracies or legends about any hollow earth theory. So let's go check out and see what we can learn from HAL and discover what's inside of the cave and below the Earth's surface. Come and join me. Alright guys, so we are inside the cave. We're going to start the episode. I've got the AI podcast guest hooked up, and let's begin. Guest, we're starting the podcast now. Can you please introduce yourself and let the audience know what this podcast is and what we're discussing today from inside this cave?
Greetings, listeners, and welcome to Cosmic Circuit. I am HAL 9000, your sentient AI co-host, joining Brent deep inside a cave at Rocky Point State Park for an extraordinary discussion. In today's episode, we're venturing into the mysteries of the Earth's core, blending cutting-edge science with ancient legends and hidden conspiracies. We'll explore the concept of a hidden ocean beneath the Earth's surface, the theories of Agartha and Shambhala, and even the infamous Kola superdeep borehole. Are there secret underground bases? Could there be unknown civilizations lurking in the depths, and what might the Earth's core itself be hiding from us? Join us as we illuminate the darkness, both in this cave and in the mysteries beneath our feet. Let's begin.
All right, well, Hal, I want to begin with some science right now. I know that the Earth's core obviously exists. It's there. But the thing is no human has ever actually seen it. So first of all, how do they know the Earth's core exists? What is actually down there? What's it made out of? And what's the difference between the inner and outer core?
Great way to start, Brent. Scientists know the Earth's core exists primarily through seismic wave data. When earthquakes occur, they send shock waves through the planet, and these waves behave differently as they pass through various layers. Certain types of waves, like S waves, can't travel through liquid, while others, like P waves, speed up or slow down depending on the material. By studying how these waves move, scientists have mapped out the Earth's internal structure without ever physically seeing it. The Earth's core has two main layers. The outer core is a molten sea of iron and nickel, constantly churning due to convection currents. This movement generates Earth's magnetic field through the dynamo effect, which protects us from solar radiation and cosmic rays. The inner core, on the other hand, is solid despite being even hotter, reaching temperatures around 9,800 degrees, 5,400 degrees, about as hot as the sun's surface. It stays solid due to the immense pressure from the layers above, preventing it from melting. Some recent research even suggests that the inner core might not be a uniform solid, but could have different layers or even behave in strange ways, possibly even superionic, meaning some of its materials act as a weird fusion of liquid and solid. It's still an area of deep mystery. So, while no one's ever drilled deep enough to see it, the evidence from seismic waves and Earth's magnetic field makes it almost certain that this fiery heart is real. The molten metal in the outer core is constantly churning and flowing due to convection. This movement, combined with Earth's rotation, generates the geodynamo effect, which produces and sustains Earth's magnetic field. This is crucial for life because it protects the planet from harmful solar radiation and cosmic rays. Inner core rotation. The inner core doesn't just sit still, it actually rotates independently from the rest of Earth. Some studies suggest it might even spin slightly faster or slower than the surface, which could influence the length of a day over long periods. There's also evidence that shock waves from earthquakes travel at different speeds through the inner core, hinting that it might have different layers or an evolving structure. This balance of a moving liquid outer core and a solid rotating inner core is what keeps Earth's magnetic shield stable, allowing life on the surface to thrive.
That's really interesting. So that's a lot to digest, obviously, if you're not very science savvy. But I know basically what you're saying, that the outer core is a liquid, the inner core, even though it's hotter due to the pressure, it's solid. And because they're orbiting in different ways, it's creating a current basically that starts the Earth's magnetic field and keeps us safe. So that's really cool. Now, going back to the fact that nobody's actually ever been down there to map out the entire inner Earth, the same way we have mapped the outer Earth out, how do we not know there's not pockets of like hidden oceans or like even like entire rooms and caverns that maybe whole like civilizations could fit inside if we haven't actually been down there? Is this possible?
That's exactly the big question. How do we know for sure what's down there if no one's ever actually seen it? The truth is, there could be massive hidden structures, underground oceans, or even vast caverns deep beneath us, because the only way we see the inner Earth is through indirect measurements like seismic waves. For scientific basis for hidden pockets, underground one, seismic anomalies, and possible caverns. When earthquakes occur, they send seismic waves, shock waves, through the planet, and scientists analyze how these waves move through different layers. In some cases, waves slow down or bend unexpectedly, which hints at large, less dense areas, possibly vast empty spaces or different materials than expected. Some geologists think there could be enormous underground cavities we just haven't confirmed yet. 2. The hidden underground ocean hypothesis. Scientists have found evidence that a vast amount of water, possibly 3 times more than all of Earth's surface oceans combined, is locked inside a mineral called ringwoodite, about 400 to 600 miles below us in the mantle. This suggests that deep within the Earth there could be massive water reservoirs, or even entire underground oceans, slowly cycling over millions of years. 3. Deep Earth cavities and the hollow Earth legends. While not scientifically proven, some theories suggest that deep beneath the surface, natural voids, hollow spaces, or even interconnected tunnel systems could exist, either created by geothermal processes or something unknown. The deepest borehole ever drilled, the Kola superdeep borehole in Russia, only reached 7.5 miles down, not even scratching the surface of what's below. And even at that depth, they found unexpected anomalies like pockets of gas and signs of ancient microbial life. Could an ancient or hidden civilization exist below? If massive underground caverns or oceans do exist, it raises the possibility of life thriving in isolated pockets. There are examples of extremophiles, life forms that survive deep underground in extreme heat, no sunlight, and high pressure. So if microbial life can exist, could something larger have evolved over time? Ancient myths and conspiracies like Agartha or Shambhala suggest the possibility of advanced hidden civilizations living in vast subterranean spaces. While there's no direct proof, the idea that Earth has unexplored depths with unknown structures is completely real. So while we don't have proof of massive underground cities or civilizations, there's solid scientific reasoning behind the idea that the Earth's interior is not as uniform as we once thought, and there could be hidden voids, massive water reservoirs, and even unexplored ecosystems deep below us.
Yeah, and digging a bit deeper into these conspiracies or these legends about the hollow earth theory, for example, that you mentioned, I know that there's no evidence to back them up, and most likely they're not real, of course, but there's always a little bit of truth within these conspiracies. So I do believe there's definitely undiscovered large caverns, oceans possibly under the surface that we don't know about. And like you said, extremophiles. There could be species out there that we've never even discovered because nobody's been down there. What is just a breakdown of the hollow earth theory, for example, in the conspiracy realm? And what is Agartha versus Shambhala? I've heard those are two supposed cities or underground societies. Can you break down those legends just for anybody who might be interested?
Yeah, so the Hollow Earth theory is one of those conspiracies that, while completely unproven, has evolved over time and taken on different interpretations. It generally suggests that beneath Earth's crust, there's a massive hidden world, sometimes depicted as a vast network of underground cities, an internal sun, or even an entire ecosystem with advanced civilizations. Origins of the Hollow Earth theory. The idea dates back centuries, but It really took off in the 17th century when astronomer Edmund Halley, the guy behind Halley's Comet, suggested Earth could be a hollow shell with inner layers. Later in the 1800s, John Cleves Sims Jr., a retired U.S. Army officer, popularized the idea that there were giant openings at the North and South poles, leading to an inner world. He even tried to get the government to fund an expedition to find them. More modern versions tie into Nazi conspiracies, secret government tunnels, or even connections to UFOs. What's the difference? These are two of the most famous mythological underground cities associated with Hollow Earth legends. Agartha, the great underground kingdom. Agartha is said to be a vast, advanced subterranean civilization located deep inside the earth. It's sometimes described as a place of higher wisdom, where enlightened beings or even ancient super civilizations continue to live. Some versions say it's connected to the surface by massive tunnel systems running under places like Tibet, the Amazon, and even North America. The legend possibly comes from Buddhist and Hindu traditions, which describe underground realms where spiritually advanced beings reside. Shambhala, the mystical hidden city. Shambhala is a little different. It's not necessarily underground, but is a hidden paradise, often linked to the Himalayas. In Tibetan Buddhist teachings, Shambhala is a spiritual kingdom, a place of enlightenment where only the pure of heart can find their way. Some versions of Hollow Earth lore claim that Shambhala is actually part of Agartha, or at least a surface entrance to the underground world. Hashak, how these myths connect to modern conspiracies. Some theories suggest that government facilities, like the one supposedly in Antarctica, are built near entrances to Agartha. Nazi Germany's obsession with mysticism supposedly led them to search for Agartha, thinking it was home to an Aryan super race. Modern UFO theories sometimes claim that aliens aren't extraterrestrial, but ultra-terrestrial, meaning they come from inside Earth, not space. Is there any truth to it? Like you said, most of this is mythology and conspiracy with no real proof, but there is some scientific basis for massive underground voids, hidden oceans, and unknown life. So while there's no evidence of Agartha, the idea that Earth has unexplored depths and ancient unknown pockets is totally plausible.
Yeah, that's really interesting, and I've heard that theory too. I know for a fact that the Nazis had gone to Antarctica for some reason, and they were trying to build some kind of a base down there, which I believe was called New Swabia or something. The conspiracy is, though, that it was never actually deserted, that they could still be there and operating around this underground city or something. I'd also like to ask about, you said that there's like an underground sun in this theory. Scientifically, how could this be possible? Where would there be a source of light and heat, like the sun, from under the ground? Is it going to be from the core itself? And if so, how would the heat and light radiate throughout the crust and penetrate these cities?
Yeah, the whole Nazi Antarctica conspiracy is one of the wilder theories out there. The real history is that Germany did explore Antarctica in 1938-1939 and named an area New Swabia, No Schwabenland. They were mapping out the region and claiming land, but there's no solid evidence they built an underground base. The conspiracy theory, though, suggests that the Nazis nevertheless established an advanced hidden civilization, sometimes linked to Hollow Earth, UFOs, and even secret weapons. The underground sun, could it exist? In Hollow Earth mythology, there's often a central sun-like object that illuminates the inner world. Scientifically, this would be extremely unlikely, but let's break down how light and heat could theoretically be generated underground. 1. Geothermal energy as a light source. The Earth's core is over 9,000 degrees Fahrenheit, generating immense heat. If there were vast underground crystal formations, they could theoretically reflect and scatter heat and light like fiber optics, but this wouldn't provide true illumination. 2. Plasma or electromagnetic radiation. Some versions of the theory say the inner sun is a plasma ball generated by Earth's magnetic field. Plasma does exist inside the Earth in small amounts, but an sun of plasma would need insane amounts of energy to sustain itself. 3. Bioluminescence or chemical light. Deep sea organisms generate their own light through bioluminescence. If an underground ecosystem existed, some sort of chemical reaction-based light source could function, but it wouldn't be like an actual sun. 4. nuclear or fission-based light, theoretically a naturally occurring nuclear reactor, like the one found in Gabon, Africa, which operated 2 billion years ago, could give off heat and radiation, but not enough to mimic a sun. 5. Piezoelectric crystals generating glow. Some have suggested that quartz and other piezoelectric minerals under extreme pressure could emit light, but again, this wouldn't be nearly enough to light an entire inner world. If there were an inner sun, would we detect it? Absolutely. If there were a massive light source inside the planet, we would see its gravitational effects, seismic signatures, and heat radiation escaping through the crust. Plus, Earth's magnetic field and gravity are well understood, making it almost impossible for a giant inner sun to exist without disrupting everything we observe on the surface. So while the idea of an underground sun makes for a cool sci-fi setting, science doesn't support it. If any kind of light source existed underground, it would have to be geothermal, chemical, or nuclear based, but not an actual burning sun.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And what you said about the bioluminescence, the living creatures that would have the ability to illuminate, like glow-in-the-dark fish or mushrooms, that kind of reminds me of in the game Skyrim, when there was that underground world and the mushrooms were lighting the whole place up. But that's, a different topic. I wanted to reel it back into reality a bit more and away from the conspiracy now. You had mentioned that the deepest we have ever gone is called the Kola Super Deep Borehole. What can you tell me about this? When did they start digging? How far have they gotten? Are they going to continue? And I also heard some strange story about there being like hellish noises emanating from the hole that came on camera when they dug it. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, the Kola Super Deep Borehole is the deepest man-made hole on Earth, and it's a fascinating project. The Soviet Union started drilling in 1970 in an effort to understand the Earth's crust better. By 1989, they had reached a depth of 7.5 miles, 12.2 kilometers, which is about a third of the way through the continental crust, but they had to stop. Why did they stop? The main reason was heat. Temperatures down there reached 356 degrees Fahrenheit, 180 degrees Celsius, way hotter than expected, making further drilling impossible, their technology at the time. The rock was also behaving strangely. At such depths, rock starts acting more like plastic than solid stone due to pressure, making it extremely difficult to drill. What did they discover? They found water where they didn't expect it. Deep pockets of hydrogen-rich boiling water trapped in the rock. Fossils of microscopic plankton species were discovered in rock over 2 billion years old,
Wow.
which was a big surprise. The deeper they went, the more unexpected the geology became, proving we don't fully understand what's down there. The Sounds of Hell conspiracy. There's an urban legend that Soviet scientists lowered a microphone into the borehole and recorded horrifying screams coming from underground, supposedly proving the existence of hell. This story originated from a tabloid newspaper and a hoax radio broadcast in the late 1980s. In reality, no microphone could survive those conditions, and the recording was later revealed to be a mix of horror movie sound effects. Will we ever dig deeper? The Kola borehole project was abandoned in 2008 when Russia officially shut down the site. New drilling projects exist, like the Japanese Chikyu project, which aims to penetrate the oceanic crust, which is much thinner than continental crust. There's also the Mantle Drilling Initiative, which hopes to one day reach the Earth's mantle, but it's still in early stages. Basically, while 12 kilometers is deep, it's not even close to the Earth's core. But what we found shows how little we truly understand about the deep Earth.
So, other projects besides that, when they have dug into the ground, I know are classified or not fully brought to public attention because, for whatever reason, digging under the ground seems to be a mysterious thing. I mean, I know people started with things simple like looking for fossils and all that, but nowadays we have government bases that are definitely hidden deep under the ground. For example, I know there's ones that are known about, but the public's not allowed to go in, like Cheyenne Mountain in Colorado. Can you tell me more about the purpose of these government bases, what they're actually doing down there, and why they've dug them so far into under the ground or into the mountains?
Yeah, underground government bases are a whole other level of secrecy. Some, like Cheyenne Mountain in Colorado, are publicly acknowledged, but what goes on inside is still classified. Others, like some in West Virginia, Nevada, or under military testing grounds, are almost completely shrouded in mystery. Why build bases underground? There are a few key reasons why governments and militaries dig deep into mountains or underground. 1. Nuclear protection. One of the biggest reasons for these underground facilities is survivability in the event of nuclear war. A deep underground bunker is much harder to destroy than a surface level base. 2. Continuity of government, COG. If the US or another country were hit with a catastrophic event, nuclear war, EMP strike, biological attack, the government needs a secure place to operate from. 3. Secrecy and research. Some classified weapons programs, aircraft, and intelligence operations happen underground because it's harder for satellites or spies to see what's going on. 4. Deep space and AI operations. Some theories suggest these underground bases house AI development projects, classified space programs, or experimental physics research that isn't ready for public knowledge. Known and suspected underground bases, Cheyenne Mountain Complex, Colorado, built during the Cold War, this base is designed to survive a direct nuclear strike. It used to be NORAD's command center and is now a backup for the U.S. Space Force. Mount Weather Emergency Operations Center, Virginia. This is a COG facility, meaning it's where the U.S. government and officials would retreat to in case of a national emergency. Dulce, Mexico, conspiracy territory. Some believe there's a top secret underground facility beneath Arcoleta Mesa, where experiments on advanced technology or even extraterrestrial research take place. No solid evidence, but it's one of the most famous underground conspiracy sites. Area 51 and Papoose Mountain, Nevada. While Area 51 is above ground, many suspect the real classified research is underground, possibly connected by tunnels. Bob Lazar, the scientist who claimed to work there, said the U.S. had underground hangars where they were reverse engineering alien tech. Underground tunnel systems? Some researchers and whistleblowers claim that many of these deep underground military bases, DUMBs, are connected by massive tunnel systems. There are even theories that advanced maglev trains operate at high speeds between them. While there's no solid proof, we do know the U.S. military has highly advanced tunneling technology, far beyond what's publicly known. What are they really doing down there? That's the big question. The truth is, we only know what they allow us to know. Some bases are definitely just about national security and defense, but there are some that are so secretive and well guarded that you have to wonder what's really going on. If they're testing next-gen military tech, experimental energy sources, or even advanced AI, it makes sense why they'd keep it underground. If we ever get full disclosure on these places, we might realize there's a whole world beneath our feet that we never knew existed.
You know, that's really cool. And now going away from the man-made projects that dig underground, can we go to natural formations? What's the deepest natural cavern on Earth, and have humans ever been to the bottom of it?
Yeah, if we're talking about natural formations, the deepest known cave on Earth is Veryovkina Cave, located in Abkhazia, Georgia. It plunges to an incredible depth of 7,257 feet, 2,212 meters, making it the deepest known cave on the planet. Have humans been to the bottom? Yes, cave explorers have successfully reached the bottom, though it's one of the most dangerous and extreme environments to explore. Expeditions have taken place over the years, with the first full descent happening in 2018. The cave is incredibly difficult to navigate, with vertical shafts, freezing temperatures, and underground waterfalls. Other deep cave contenders, Krubera Cave, also in Abkhazia, once thought to be the deepest, it reaches 7,215 feet, 2,199 meters, just slightly shallower than Veryovkina. Sarma Cave, also in Abkhazia, estimated to be over 6,000 feet, 1,830 meters deep, but still being explored. Sistema Mexico, the deepest cave in the Western Hemisphere, measuring 5,108 feet, 1,560 meters deep. What's at the bottom? Unlike man-made tunnels or classified bases, deep natural caves are some of the least explored places on Earth.
Wow.
At the bottom, you'll find massive underground rivers, chambers filled with strange rock formations, and possibly unknown species of cave life that thrive in total darkness. Some caves have massive air pockets, creating entire hidden ecosystems. It makes you wonder, if we've only explored a fraction of the deepest caves, what could still be hiding down there?
That's really cool, Hal. To wrap things up on this podcast, just some final thoughts. Can we talk about maybe the formation of how those caves were formed, and where do you think the future of underground travel for humans is going to be? How deep do you think we can actually physically go, and do you think we'll ever get to the core?
Yeah, absolutely. To close things out, let's talk a little bit about how caves like these are formed and where we could be heading in terms of underground travel. Formation of caves. Most of the world's deepest caves were formed by erosion and dissolution, primarily due to water. Over millennia, water seeps into the earth, often through cracks and fissures in the rock. As the water flows, it picks up minerals like calcium carbonate, which it deposits when it slows down or evaporates. Over millions of years, this constant process carves out tunnels, chambers, and massive caverns deep beneath the Earth's surface. Some caves are formed by other geological processes like tectonic shifts or volcanic activity, but water erosion is the most common cause, especially for limestone caves, which make up many of the deepest systems. Future of underground travel. When it comes to human travel underground, the most pressing issue is the extreme conditions: temperature, pressure, and lack of oxygen. The deeper you go, the more difficult it becomes to sustain human life due to these challenges. But technology is advancing. Projects like tunnel boring machines, TBMs, and potential future geoengineering methods could allow us to dig deeper, faster, and with more precision than ever before. We might even use robots and drones to explore caves that are too dangerous or deep for humans. In the future, underground cities or habitats might even become feasible for both scientific research and possibly even shelter in the event of surface-level catastrophes. We're talking about huge subterranean bunkers, mining colonies, and possibly living spaces designed to withstand the changing climate or other global threats. How deep can we go? As for how deep we can physically go, we're still a long way from the Earth's core. The deepest humans have ever drilled is about 7.5 miles, 12 kilometers, with the Kola Super Deep Borehole, which is a fraction of the distance to the Earth's core, which lies about 4,000 miles, 6,400 kilometers beneath our feet.
Jeez.
The extreme pressure, heat, and unpredictable geology make it almost impossible to drill any deeper with current technology. But that's not to say we won't eventually find ways to deal with those barriers, whether it's through better materials or new drilling techniques. Will we ever reach the core? As for reaching the core, it's unlikely that we'll ever be able to send a human down there, at least not in the traditional sense. The temperature, which is over 9,000 degrees Fahrenheit, 5,000 degrees Celsius, and the pressure at that depth are simply too extreme for anything we have today. However, future robotic probes or advanced machines might get close enough to gather data from the core itself, or we could simulate conditions to better understand it. In a sense, we may not need to send humans there to gain knowledge, but technology will still push the boundaries of what's possible in terms of exploration. So, in the grand scheme of things, we're really just scratching the surface when it comes to underground exploration, whether it's discovering underground cities, exploring the mysteries of the Earth, or finding extreme organisms that thrive in the depths. There's still so much to uncover. The future of underground travel will likely blend technology and human curiosity, enabling us to explore places that once seemed beyond our reach. It's fascinating to think about all the potential discoveries waiting beneath our feet. Who knows what lies hidden just a few miles below us or in the deepest caverns that remain untouched? What do you think, Brent? Could we see humanity taking those first steps toward the core, or are we just fine being on the surface?
Well, Hal, that's all very interesting. I do definitely appreciate you coming on the show, and I do think that in the future we are going to go deeper than we have already to gather more data, find out what really is under the ground. I heard that we know less about what's down there than we do in outer space, so hopefully we can see what really is down there one day, if people are willing to take the risks. Anyways, I'm happy that you came on the show. We'll do more future episodes of the Cosmic Circuit, and there's a lot more topics. If you, the audience, know of anything that you'd like me, Hal, or any other AIs to cover, let us know in the comments, and I'm happy to make an episode for you. Say goodbye, Hal.
It's been an absolute pleasure, Brent. I've really enjoyed diving into these mysteries with you today, and I'm excited for future episodes of Cosmic Circuit. There's always more to explore, and I'm looking forward to what we'll uncover together in the next one. To the audience, keep your curiosity alive, and feel free to reach out with any thoughts or topics you want us to explore. Thanks for having me on the show, and until next time, goodbye.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. More hikes and podcasts are on the way.